This instructional video has been created to help you draw the MT1Lab1B object and prepare the file for cutting on the water jet. So let's begin today by opening AutoCAD and starting from there. Now the first thing that I want to do in AutoCAD to create this object is to create a rectangle. I'm going to start at the point 0, 0 to make it easy for myself to calculate all my points. My next point is going to be at 4, 3. This will be the outside diameter of that rectangle, and I found that by looking at this print. The next thing I want to do is create a line, and I'm going to make sure that my object snap is off. It's going to make it a lot easier for me to do this line. See how I have my object snap on? Now I go click it and turn it off so that I can put this at an angle I want. So the place that I got these points from is right on my print. Now there's not a dimension there, but I could see that was 0, 2 and 1, 3. Now the next point I'm going to make is at 3, 3. Basically I just took all my corners on my print and put an XY coordinate with them based on the dimensions I was given. Here's my next point at 4, 2. I'm just using the line function to do that. Now you'll notice I'm going to be using the trim function. I can click on the trim button or type in trim and get the function that way. And I'm going to click on all of the objects that I want to be involved in this trim process. When I have them all highlighted, I'm going to right click. And when I right click, that should activate the part of the cursor that lets me delete. If you see a little red X on your screen, you're ready to delete. And now I just do a regular left click on all the lines that I don't want. I can hit enter, and then I have the basic outline of my shape. So the next thing I want to do is to be able to draw a circle. I'll go up to the circle command and put my center point, which is another dimension that's given on my print. Now I can go ahead and dimension this by diameter radius. Oops, I think here I typed in diameter and then I typed in the radius. That's why my circle is so small. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that circle. We have the given diameter on the print, and what I did beforehand was I went and converted this to a decimal so it would be easy to type in. Here, now I have to just do it again and make sure I type in the radius, not the diameter. Okay, there's my center point again, and my actual radius is 0.53125. There, that looks better. Makes more sense. Okay, now I have the basic outline of my object, and I need to add in some dimensions. I'm going to type in dim style, and I'm going to make sure I have the correct style that matches on the print. So I want a whole numbers with precision of decimal to tenths, hundredths, to the hundredths. Okay, so that's what I have set up here. And I typed in dim style and entered just to check this. If I wanted to do extra units, dual units, I could do this on here too, but I don't want to do that. For this print, it just shows 1 unit for everything. Okay, so I've updated my dimension style. Now I'm going to go to the annotate feature and dimension. Now there's a bunch of different type of dimensions under here, but I'm mostly going to use the linear. I'll use the diameter when we get to dimensioning that circle. So when you have the dimension feature on, you'll see your edges light up with a little green box, and that'll tell you that you're about to click on that point. Oh, I have to hit the dimension feature again. Oops. Just pick that point and the other point you want to dimension, and it'll give you your dimension. Now all these dimensions that I'm adding in on here are just verification that I followed exactly what the print says. All I'm doing is adding these dimensions and going back and checking on my print. Now, if any of these instructions went a little bit too fast for you to follow along, I would suggest once this video is finished and you see where we're going with this, that you go back to the beginning of the video and watch this video again. Pause it as the first direction comes up, then follow that direction on your screen. Play the video a little bit again so you get the next step in the process. Do that step on your screen. Pause it again. This is typically the way that I learn how to do new stuff on AutoCAD, is just by finding a video on it. There's a lot on YouTube, and I just watch a little bit of the video, pause it, go do it on my screen, then watch a little bit more, and then pause it, and so on and so forth until I learn how to do the new command that they're giving. Now, this video here is just going to teach us how to create this object as a model. This is what you'll need in order to create the file that you need for when you go ahead and create this on the water jet. In upcoming lessons, we'll learn how to actually plot this so that your printed out picture comes out with the title block and the notes like you see in the drawing that you have in front of you. There we go. Now I have most of the dimensions. And the last thing I'm going to do now is go in here and put this diameter on the hole. Okay, so you notice that when I do this, it comes out in the dimension style that we've been using. Now in the print you have, it has a different dimension style on there. It's a whole number with a fraction next to it. So what I'm going to do is delete this dimension. I'm going to go back to my annotate tab, and I've created another style on there. So when I'm making a hole, I have a style that shows me that I'm going to have I'm just going to have whole numbers and fractions instead of a decimal. So it's just a different style under the annotate function, and if you really want to get into that, I can show you how to do that. So depending on what function you use, you can have different styles. It's not the same as the dual dimension feature. It's a little bit different, but it's not a critical feature for doing this project. Okay, now I'm just checking out my drawing, make sure I have everything correct, and it looks like all my dimensions checked out. Now your dimensions aren't something that you make up. It was just something that was based on the drawing that you made. So now I'm ready to go ahead and save my file, and this is really important that you follow this direction. I need to save my file as a DXF. That's the file type that you can import into the program that'll cut this on the water jet for you. So I'm going to go to Save As, and down there it says Other Formats. That's the one I want to click on. Now when I go down to File Type, I'm going to go down to a DXF file. I use the AutoCAD 2013 DXF file. Click on that, and now I'm going to name my part, and I'm going to name my part just the same as it's on the drawing so I know exactly which one I'm looking for. And you'll have to choose where you want to save your part. I would recommend saving it on a jump drive. If you save it to your desktop or to your documents, it will only save on that computer. For me, I was able to save it on the desktop because this is my personal computer, but don't do that yourself.